What's up, everybody? So you're thinking about moving to the Oregon coast and you want to know more about Newport, Oregon. Well, we've already done this video, but we're going to do it again in a 2024 version, the pros and cons of living in Newport, Oregon, or moving to Newport, Oregon. And we're going to get after it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good and the bad of living on the Oregon coast, then subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market on the coast. My name is Eddie, and I get calls, emails, texts every single day from people just like you looking to make a move to the coast. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'll be happy to help you make a smooth move to the coast today. Okay, well, we are here in September of 2024, and we're going to go over the pros and cons of living in Newport, Oregon, and we're going to get after it right now. Let's first talk about the cons, the worst parts of living in Newport, Oregon. We've got a number of them, but the first one we're going to have to talk about is the weather. The weather in Newport, Oregon is sometimes not the greatest. Anywhere on the Oregon coast, it's going to be not the greatest. Now, what do you mean, Eddie? Well, you get about 150 days of sun on average per year annually. So you're getting, what does that mean? A full day of sun, a half day of sun, maybe just a little glimpse of sun. Any of those factor into that number of 150 days. But that means that you're getting almost 200 days where you may not see the sun. It may be gray. It may be gloomy. So if you can't handle that and you're planning on moving to the Oregon coast full time, you may want to take another look at what you're doing when you move to the coast. The other thing about the weather is that you're getting about 80 inches annually of rain. So 80 inches, quite a bit. It is lush here. It is green. It is beautiful, but rain, overcast skies, sometimes lots of storm watching. Those things you can and should expect if you live in Newport, Oregon. Number 2 on our cons list is the remoteness of Newport, Oregon. Though Newport is one of the larger towns on the Oregon coast, it is somewhat remote from some of the larger metropolitan or city centers in Oregon. What are the big city centers in Oregon? Portland, Salem, Eugene, Medford maybe, but the biggest ones are going to be right along the I-5 corridor in the Willamette Valley, starting from Eugene, working your way up towards Portland. The big ones are the Eugene metropolitan area, the Salem metropolitan area, and Portland, obviously, is going to be the major cities in Oregon. Well, Newport, just to give you an idea, from Salem is about an hour and a half, 90-minute drive to Salem. It's about a 90-minute drive to Eugene. So you're kind of right in the middle on the coast from Salem and Eugene. If you shot straight east from Newport, you're about 45 minutes away from Corvallis. That's where Oregon State University is. And then if you're going to go to Portland, the southern part of Portland, you're about 2 hours from there. If you're going maybe to PDX, you're going to fly out of PDX, or you're going to do something inside of maybe downtown Portland or around there, it's going to be between 2 and 2.5 hours to those areas. So when we talk about remoteness, we're talking about at least a 45 to 60-minute drive to get to the valley. Local people call anywhere in the Willamette Valley the valley, and that's the valley basically is anywhere from Eugene all the way up to Portland and inside the Willamette Valley. So if you're going to say you want to go to Costco, you want to go to Home Depot, you want to go to Lowe's, you want to go to some of these places that you might not be able to access in Newport because we just don't have it, then you're definitely going to want to look at those other areas in the Willamette Valley and just see, okay, can I manage that? Well, when you're on the coast and you're a coastie, and maybe you're from Newport, maybe you're from Coos Bay, maybe you're from Astoria, you kind of get used to it. And well, for Newport, the one thing about being, say in Astoria, it is remote, but you're about 45 minutes from Portland. Say you're from Tillamook, you're about 45 minutes from Hillsboro. But Newport is right in the middle. So the biggest city straight shot is Corvallis or Albany. Those have a lot of the amenities that you're going to want, but those are still smaller cities compared to Salem, Eugene, and Portland. Number 3 on our list of cons is tourism. Tourism is a positive, but I would say as a Oregon coastie, somebody that lives on the Oregon coast, tourism is actually somewhat of a negative. It boosts the economy. It gives some excitement in the summer. It makes you feel like you're not in a desolate area. But the big thing it does is it creates crowds, traffic, and backups. So if you're thinking about going out to dinner, or you're thinking about going shopping, or you're thinking about trying to drive through town during the summer months, the tourist months, from late April to early October, those months, you are going to have to know where you're at, where you're going, and plan for slower traffic and just larger lines everywhere you go. Just plan on that. It's not a huge inconvenience, but it definitely is something that you're going to want to think about. And though you get the good weather in those months, you also get the the tourists and what comes with that. Number 4 on our list of the cons of living in Newport, Oregon is not a lot of affordable housing. There's not a lot of housing in general. The numbers, they fluctuate, but there's not a ton of available housing options in Newport. So if you're getting a job, say for Lincoln County or the city of Newport or the state of Oregon, and you're going to be based here, or, maybe a federal agency in Newport, or maybe you're going to work for the school district or anything like that. If you're going to move to Newport and you need an affordable housing option, there's just not a ton. So you're probably on this page because you're thinking about moving to Newport. Maybe you're trying to buy a house. Maybe you're trying to get into some type of housing option. There's just not a ton of affordable housing options in Newport. And if you're trying to buy a house, Newport is going to be one of the more expensive places when it comes to Lincoln County. That's the central Oregon coast. A lot of people will go east to Toledo. It's about 6 miles east of Newport. And maybe they'll go South Beach, Seal Rock, maybe Walport, just about 15 minutes to 20 minutes south of Newport. Maybe they'll go to Depot Bay. Depot Bay is quite expensive. Siletz, that is, you go to Toledo and then you go north on 229. It takes about 20 minutes from Newport to get to Siletz. That area and that region is a little bit more rural than even Newport, but you're going to have some more affordable housing options there. So when you're talking about being in the city proper of Newport, inside the city limits, it's going to be more spendy, and taxes are going to be more spendy, though you're going to be closer to amenities and pretty good schooling when it comes to the Central Oregon coast. That's about all I can think of when it comes to the cons of Newport. There's other things I could talk about, but I don't really want to talk about all the cons and get nitty gritty, but those are the main ones when you're talking about living on the Oregon coast, Central Oregon coast, and in Newport. Now to the pros. The pros, number 1 on our pros list is, I would say, the beauty of Newport, the beauty of the Oregon coast. Newport is going to be, I believe, one of the top 3 most beautiful places on the Oregon coast when you couple it with the amenities that it provides. So when you go up and down the Oregon coast, I will tell you the most beautiful places that I believe, and I'm just going to go down. I got a map here. I'm going to kind of go north to south. When you're talking about the most beautiful places, Astoria, I think, is a pretty beautiful place. You've got the Columbia River right there, and especially if you're up on the hill there, you've got, where Astor Column is, it's just gorgeous up there, and you're going to see the ocean. You're going to see, see all the way down to Seaside. You're going to see the Columbia River. It's a beautiful spot. I think Astoria is a very beautiful place. Seaside as well is a beautiful place. However, it is right on the beach. The one positive about, I won't get into that, but it's a beautiful place. Cannon Beach is amazing with those rocks jetting out of the ocean. Manzanita is one of my favorite places. Rockaway Beach, right on the beach. That's amazing. Pacific City, but these places are small. Pacific City, Rockaway Beach, Manzanita, Arch Cape, and we go down Nescoin. Those are all amazingly beautiful places if you've never been there, but they're extremely small and even more desolate than Newport. Then we keep going down south. Lincoln City, Depot Bay, beautiful. Newport, though, the major cities on the Oregon coast, Astoria, Tillamook, Newport, maybe Florence, Coos Bay, North Bend. Those are the big ones. And then the minor ones are, Brookings, Bandon, Florence, Walport, and, maybe those are the big, those are like the minor towns. The thing is Newport has the best of both. You have it's a bigger city, above 10,000 people, and it's got the beauty and the views and the ocean and the beach and the bay and the river and the bayfront. And there's all of these different little coves and regions to Newport that just adds beauty. And it's got a great community atmosphere there in Newport. So there's a lot of options in Newport that make you feel like, man, this is awesome. So the beauty, the location, it is centrally located on the Oregon coast. If you're a type of person that wants to live in Newport, but wants to be able to go all the way up to Astoria, all the way down to Brookings, or somewhere in between, you're kind of 3 hours north to Astoria and 3 hours south. 3 hours south will get you to about Port Orford or Gold Beach. So you're about 3.5 to 4 hours south to the California border. So Newport, right in the middle of the Oregon coast, centrally located, Central Oregon coast, the hub of the county of Lincoln or Lincoln County. You go north to Astoria, about 3 hours. Go south to the Oregon-California border, about 3.5 to 4 hours. It's going to be awesome if you're somebody that wants to explore the Oregon coast for the rest of your days. The next pro on our list is that it's got amazing restaurants. Of all the Oregon coastal towns, there's no coastal town that is better than Newport when it comes to eating and the options of eating. What do you want to eat? Seafood. What do you want to eat? Pizza. What do you want to eat? Mexican. What do you want to eat? Thai food. Whatever you want to have. There's a great restaurant here, but the seafood is second to none when it comes to the Oregon coast. Local Ocean, Clearwater, Gino's Ocean Blue, Moe's Clam Chowder. I could keep going. Georgie. There's so many great seafood restaurants that, and there's great burger places. There's just so many good things. There's good sushi. Anything that you want on the Oregon coast when it comes to those things, when it comes to eating out and restaurants, there's a lot of options here in Newport. And I don't think that you're going to be disappointed if you're comparing it to other Oregon coastal cities. Another positive is that when you're not in tourism season, the pro of being in Newport is it is like your own winter wonderland. Sure, it's overcast. Sure, there are storms coming. Sure, there are gale force winds. Sure, all those things may be happening. But when the tourism ceases, it is a quiet, quaint town and a great community to be in. When you're in Newport in the winter months, you're going to be really on your own. There's not going to be as much traffic, especially, every day after probably 5 or 6 o'clock, it just kind of dies down. And that's how it is going to be on every coastal town in Oregon, is that you're going to have these crazy busy summer months, and then boom, now we're in the winter and those things just aren't happening. There's not as much people. There's not as much traffic. And it just kind of opens everything up. It opens the beaches up. It opens the trails up. It opens up all of the different places where you're going to enjoy activities. And that's another reason why Newport is awesome. Another pro of Newport is all of the outdoor opportunities that a coastal town provides. You want to go fishing? There's amazing rivers to go fishing on, whether that's the Yaquina, the Alsea in Walport, the Siletz, through Siletz and up into Lincoln City. If you want to go crabbing, the Yaquina Bay is one of the better places to go crabbing, or the Alsea Bay is a great place to go crabbing. You want to go hiking, there's tons of hikes, mountain biking. Maybe you like Frisbee golf. We've got a couple courses here locally. You want to go golfing. You got some of the greatest golfing within an hour. There's one golf course in Newport, the Agate Beach Golf Course, but there's also Lincoln City, Salishan, and then down into Florence. There's a number of different golf courses in Florence. And then, if you're willing to drive, an hour or so, 2 hours, there's amazing golfing all up and down the coast when it comes to that. What else do you like? Do you want community events? Do you want youth sports? Do you want, safe, a safe community when it comes to serious crime, violent crime, or property crime? Newport is going to top the list on all those things. So When you're talking about Newport, the other thing that a lot of people want to know when it comes to a pro is, how is the healthcare? Brand new hospital, Samaritan Hospital in Newport, recently built, recently constructed, rebuilt, I should say, right over by the Yaquina Bay Bridge. It's going to be able to service most of the things that you're going to need when it comes to healthcare. What about schools? Well, you've got the Lincoln County School District. You've got a couple of elementary schools, middle school, high school. You also have a private school option in South Beach Christian School. And there's also different schools around that are going to be different options for you as well, which, I could go down the list, but I'm not going to. Those are things that you can definitely consider when you're talking about Newport as well. What are some other things that you might want to know about Newport? Well, here's the deal. You can always give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email when it comes to Newport, pros and cons, different neighborhoods, different houses, different properties. Do you have questions? I'm sure I can answer it for you. And if I don't have the answer, I will find it and get back to you as soon as I can. I will do whatever you need to do to help you out and make it awesome. And it doesn't have to be Newport. It can be Lincoln City. It can be Bandon. It could be Brookings. It could be whatever you want along the Oregon coast. The Oregon Coast Property Pro, here to help. Well, that's all that we're going to talk about today. I hope that this was informative for you. And again, let's make this the best day ever. We'll see you next time, folks.